I'm sure you've had this experience once or twice before in your life. But you wake up maybe a little bit late on a Sunday morning, maybe even pushing into the afternoon a little bit. And maybe the night before, you had a little bit too much fun. You had a little bit too much to drink, and you're feeling it. You're feeling a little bit, but not too much that you can't get out of your bed.
Too much apple juice at the tavern last night.
Right, too much apple juice, too much chocolate milk. So, obviously, the first thing you want when you wake up is you want food. And the first thing, even if it's in the afternoon, I know for me personally, the first thing that I want is I want some sort of goddamn breakfast food. Good old American, greasy, just sits like a rock in my stomach breakfast food. I want like hash browns, some sausages, and some eggs. I just give it all to me. Now, my question to you guys is, why is breakfast food the best food?
That's a pretty bold claim to make.
I know some people that hate breakfast food. I'm not one of them.
Man, there's always a time for breakfast food. Breakfast food is good for any meal. Despite its name.
I can agree with that. There are many times where I've had dinner, like breakfast for dinner, and that's some of the most satisfying moments in my life, I think, of just like eating food. It's so happy. It's so controversially good.
When your children in the future are born, the day you're married, and then last Tuesday when you had scrambled eggs for dinner.
If that's in the
greatest moments.
If that's in the 3, 2, 1 ranking, then yes.
I mean, whether it's like where it's going into a shitty little diner on a Sunday morning, a Waffle House, or maybe a local place for where you're around where you live, walking in there and just smelling that grease and that coffee, or even if it's you're at your own house and just putting the oil on the skillet and about to fry up some eggs, it's a good time.
Colin, so I am a proponent of Waffle House. I seem to remember though a couple weeks back you were hating on it.
See,
what's your official stance?
Now, here's my official stance. I don't, quote unquote, hate Waffle House. I am just of the belief that there are better places to have breakfast, because the thing is, you can only do breakfast so dirty. Like, you can't completely fuck up breakfast,
over the line,
dude.
For you.
Yeah, like, you can't completely fuck up breakfast. And I mean, and I'm not saying what I mean. Like, what I'm saying is it's hard to make a really bad breakfast plate. Like, and I'm not saying Waffle House makes a horrible breakfast plate. They don't. I just think that they're a little pricey for what they offer.
Dude, it's the All-Star for $7.99.
This is the
waffle.
It's the kind of place where the puke in the bathroom is a feature. You know, it's not really like unexpected.
I don't know. See, you guys went to the Waffle Houses on campus, so you had a widely different experience than I did. I went to the fancy Waffle House with the automatic dryer.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? Fancy Waffle House?
It was. I mean,
fancy
it was still
Waffle House, and then the second sentence you said was automatic dryer.
Yeah, that's how you differentiate whether you're in the hood or you're at a nice one. I mean, they all look kind of ramshackle. Yeah. A fancy hand dryer in the bathroom. The automatic, the speedy ones too that do it real fast. The Dysons. That's how you know you're in a classy place.
Yeah, the Dyson Airblades. Or whatever
I don't think they have those on campus where you guys are at. But I can imagine that our Waffle House experiences are widely different. But what I'm saying is, you're talking about like it's too expensive, bro. What are you talking about? $7.99, you get everything. You get the hash browns.
And I get that, and that would be fine. Like, wouldn't mind the price so much, but I think it's because, and just to put a tail end on my stance here, and I think it's because, like you said, that I've pretty much only experienced one Waffle House location, and that's the one next to campus, and I think that's kind of ruined my experience.
It's coloring your opinion, certainly, and I can't really fight you on that.
Right, and I will make that disclaimer. So I don't know, maybe I just need to give Waffle House another chance somewhere else. I'm not gonna completely knock it.
Like, because I've been, like, my first Waffle House experience, because, I was new to the country at the time, was that one on campus. And I didn't want to go again, but my friends, like Jack, were like, like, this isn't the quintessential Waffle House. There are better Waffle Houses out there. Right. So clearly. I trusted them. And I went to the one on, 161, and I was pleasantly surprised. Like,
that's funny you say that location, because that one I actually feel like in danger when I go to that location. I'm never so glad that an armed police officer is on the premise as when I go to the 161 Waffle House, specifically that one.
Well, it's good to know that for me that the progression of Waffle House can only get better from here.
Yes. If you guys on your birthday or something, right, go up to the one on 23 North. Just north of 270. Go up to. We're getting highly specific on location here, but go to that one. So just go ahead and dox Robert, everybody. Find out when his birthday is, and then meet him up there at Waffle House.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just saying it's a good thing, and I will not hear bad words said about Waffle House. So I just need to set that aside. But
okay,
breakfast foods, like probably one of my favorite ones are. I love Eggs Benedict. Anybody with me on this?
I'm into that.
Eggs Benedict's good stuff, man. It's good stuff.
I rock some Eggs Benedict on, and I like lox too. You guys ever had that?
I don't know what that is.
Nope.
So it's it's weird sounding. I will not be able to defend that, but it's basically a Jewish like smoked salmon, pretty much raw, but it's cured, and it's a bagel, typically an everything bagel, with some cream cheese and then the smoked salmon on top, and maybe some capers too.
I think I've seen this before.
It's pretty bomb. It's called Lox, LOX. No, I definitely recommend it. The first time I ever tried it, I was on a cruise ship in the Caribbean. but
pretentious.
I thought you were like trying to yawn, but like you were trying to suppress it.
Yeah, it just sounds so schmancy, right? That was also the first time I ever ate snails, but that's a different conversation for another day. So yeah, I love me some breakfast. And ever since I moved here as well in Texas, poutine's kind of a thing down here now.
Oh, really?
Yes.
In Texas, of all places.
I can rock some poutine now, some cheese curds, some fries, gravy, a nice runny egg on top. Ooh, yeah. Good stuff. I'm a fan.
Now, very quickly, what would you guys say is probably the best breakfast you've had out, like at a restaurant?
Ooh. This probably isn't the best, but it's one that I can recall because I've had it kind of recently. Cap City Diner on Olentangy here in Columbus.
Oh yeah, the place we went to a couple weeks ago. Yeah,
I like that place. That's pretty good.
I tried their Eggs Benedict there. It was supreme. It was really, really great. Can't recommend it enough.
I had their hash. It was pretty good.
Cap City, I think they have a really good, not breakfast related, but just dish related. I think they have a good it's this weird like flattened out, hammered down chicken that's breaded, and then I can't remember the name of it. And then there's just sauce on top and some good butter noodles on the side. Whatever. It's really good, Cap City.
Pretty great.
Yeah, if you ever see it. We were talking about breakfasts, though. So what else? What are some other good, interesting breakfast foods you guys eat?
Oh, wait. So my best breakfast that I'd ever had was actually, it's a little out of the way, but over at Put in Bay, South Bass Island, Lake Erie, Ohio. There's a little diner, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of it, but it's right there on like the main strip where all the bars and restaurants are at. So it's hard to miss. There's a little place, and it's like a one-room diner. It's really tiny.
I love those places. I love a hole in the walls.
Right, but I mean, it was nice on the inside. It wasn't like a shitty place by any means. And I mean, it was just really basic. It was just like, no, there was pancakes, and they were cheesecake pancakes, is what they were. It was strawberry cheesecake pancakes. It was wild. It was wild.
Whoa. So like there's cheesecake spread on top of the pancakes?
It's like a weird drizzle thing the way they do it. I don't know. It was weird, but it was really, really good. And then of course they had like sausage patties, and I had hash browns and some toast with it. And it was just great. God.
I just feel like I share your sentiment, Robert. I feel like if you're just about ready to give up on life, have these cheesecake pancakes on a Sunday and just resign yourself to instant, arterial deterioration.
Well, I mean, dude, after you have a night at a place like Put in Bay, I mean, come on now. What is that? What's left?
Okay, I'm going to cheat. I have two answers for really standout breakfast places in Columbus. If you take the Easton exit off 270, I think that's still technically 161, but Little Turtle Way or whatever that exit is. Anyways, there's a place there called Gina's. Real small mom and pop shop. Great coffee. Great fresh coffee. They have great deals. Great Eggs Benedict specifically. Very inexpensive. And they definitely advertise that they have the world's greatest pecan roll. So if you're into a great homemade gigantic pecan roll for like $4 that you'd have to share and split with people. Whoa. Gina's, in off of 161 is really hot. Spot to go in Columbus. Now here,
yeah, dude, that sounds nice.
Here in Austin, my wife and I just recently went to this place that's not too far from where we live, called. What do you think of this name for a restaurant? The Rotten Bunch.
Oh, I like it.
Do you?
Okay. It's got character. It sounds like it has a lot of character.
Man, does it. So they have a huge patio, TVs out there, but just like straight up furniture, like couches. Like they have like living rooms set out in their back patio. And they have board games you just grab, and you can just sit there and eat and drink wine and just play board games all day long. They have those giant like checkerboard tables too. It's a pretty cool little spot. Real tiny, real weird looking too on the outside. And it's like tucked back in this little this little strip mall. Like it's real easy to miss. But man, we had a fantastic brunch. My wife's boss gave her a $50 gift card to just visit. And so we went there, and it cost every bit of $50 to eat there. It was not the cheapest place. What I had the steak and eggs that was it was like $18, but everything was like flawlessly executed. They definitely are paying attention to the details there, and we noticed. And we'll go back again when we feel like dropping a few, bucks on brunch. It's not an every Sunday kind of thing, but we definitely left with a really positive impression, and we look forward to going back.
That sounds like a cool place, man. The place that Robert was talking about, Cap City Diner, that was the first time I'd ever been to a diner, where they just kind of like throw cinnamon rolls at you. Like they just kind of, they give you a bunch. Yeah, that's like before you get your food. It's kind of like a lot of places, they just give you bread, before your meal starts. It's kind of the same idea, but they do cinnamon rolls instead. I was like, oh, okay. Kind of justifies the cost of this place a little bit more. It's a little pricey, but it was good.
Where are you guys at on the chicken and waffles debate?
I love it.
I
am all for it.
I've never had chicken and waffles before, but I've had chicken and I've had waffles.
What are you doing, Jack?
IHOP, bro. It's the easiest way.
No, not even go anywhere with chicken and waffles.
You're hitting to the core of me here, Colin. I have a revelation for both of you. So, I haven't been to IHOP in probably 4 years.
Okay.
Wow.
I haven't been in 22 years.
Oh, you've never been to IHOP?
IHOP is pretty great.
And I'm kind of sad about it, especially since I live very close to one, but my wife will not go. She refuses to go.
Bad experience?
Does she have something against the...
It's just the quality of the food, or lack thereof, might be more appropriate. She just really doesn't like the taste. Everything seems so synthetic and kind of airy and just kind of empty calorie kind of food. Does that make sense? Because it's all just pancakes and dough and waffles and sugar all over everything kind of deal. Don't get me wrong. Like, I think it has its place. And like I said, I'm lamenting this fact. I want to go, but I'm not going to go by myself.
Why not?
I would. I don't know. Usually Sunday is the day for brunch, I feel like. And that's like the one day we hang out. So she kind of gets to pick the restaurant. I would definitely go to IHOP. I just, got to make the wife happy, man.
Fair enough. So welcome to the Tiny Disc Podcast, episode 19. It's a show about games and life. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Jack Cepeda.
Hello, everybody. Bong bong.
And Colin Sparling.
Man, it's crazy to think we're going on episode 20.
We're getting close.
We're doing this for
we are in
weeks.
The end of our teens. We're no longer teenagers now. We have to be young adults, young professionals.
Soon enough, we'll be old enough to drink.
Yeah, because I haven't drank before.
Just 2 weeks from now, guys, we're going to be able to drink. It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, can we do that podcast drunk?
Oh, I was so thinking that. I might have to go pee quite a few times, but it'll be fine.
Gross.
Just take the mic with you. Like, who cares? Have you guys ever been on a phone call before where someone's clearly using the bathroom?
Oh, dude, me and my buddy that talk on the phone, like, that I've known since I was in like first grade. just don't even give a fuck. Like we just
Wow.
we use the bathroom, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Have you no decency?
Well,
No
I'm
shame.
just curious, like Colin, like okay, I understand where you're coming from, but like, is any conversation just like you can't just pause it and be like, hey, I'll call you back?
Dude, my
You know what I mean?
dad
Like,
used to,
hey, man,
my
hold
dad
on.
my dad used to take phone calls when he was on the shitter. All right, so
What?
Some people have phones, like hardwired phones, like in the bathroom. I think that's weird. I think taking an iPad in the bathroom is weird.
Well, I mean, if you're like playing games on it or something.
shit, I'm on my phone when I'm on the toilet, man. I'm not gonna lie.
The phone is not weird at all. I think that's basically normal now.
I think that's
enough
I think it's a culturally acceptable thing now.
Yeah, and it's so I feel weird when people hand me their phones or when I hand someone else my phone because it's just literally the dirtiest thing you could ever hand somebody.
Oh yeah, no, I completely
know?
agree. And I think, but here's the thing though. Sitting on the toilet and being on your phone is one thing, but I've been seeing this trend. I think I've told you guys about this before, but I've seen this trend where, and I go to a college, a big college campus where people walk into the bathroom, they'll stand at the urinal and scroll through their phone while they're pissing at a urinal. I'm like, that's just weird.
Okay.
Like, that's just weird.
I work somewhere where business conversations are happening with someone like at a urinal next to me. Like, dude, why? Just like hold it.
See, I don't like that. It's weird.
It's real messy, and it's not like widespread. It's an isolated incident, but it's a consistent incident with this one individual who I will not name, but it's a thing.
Does it
just weird? And like, I don't even like. Listen, when I go to the bathroom, this is like mansplaining something. Okay, like when I go to the bathroom, like I don't make eye contact, I don't make conversation. It's all business in there, and I'm trying to minimize the time I'm in the bathroom. Do you guys just sit there and be like, so?
No, listen. I completely get it. Like the only
Don't look
time,
at me. Don't talk to me.
Yeah, no, I get it. When I'm in a public bathroom with someone, especially, unless I don't know. Aside from the awkward times that I've been in the bathroom with the professor that I just had class with, and we just so happened to go to the same bathroom at the same time.
Awkward.
Hey, hi, bye.
Sometimes
It's happened to me more than once.
Sometimes I'll go into the stall, even though I don't need to use the stall, just so I don't have to deal with someone looking at me. Because
so are you saying it pisses you off when people try to talk to you when you're
Oh my god! Have you? Okay, really quick sidetrack. Have you guys seen the movie Waiting?
No.
Yes, I love that movie.
Yes. You remember the guy that just could not piss in a public bathroom?
Listen, he was pee shy, and he had to close his eyes and daydream that all of his friends and family and all his loved ones were in the bathroom with him cheering his pee on. Like, go, 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 go.
It's so great.
And that scene in the movie is one of my favorite scenes. But
That whole
guys,
movie is
I don't know-
great.
I don't know. I mean, listen, I grew up playing sports. I'm used to being in the locker room. I'm used to the locker room talk and the demeanor that guys have when they think no one else is watching. And I'm used to, just like taking showers after football practice and wrestling and all that stuff. But still, somewhere down the road, I did have these issues with being pee shy, where I literally could not go if anyone was in the bathroom. Luckily, I grew out of that, but it was an issue for me for a number of years. Did you guys ever experience anything like that?
When I was younger, yeah.
Yeah.
I think there's just that idea of like, oh no, this is my first time like peeing in public, and there are like other human beings. Well, because like when you're younger, you're usually like using the bathroom at home, and then like when you're actually cognizant of the fact that you're peeing in public, and then that dude next to you is gonna hear you're pissing, it's kind of like, this is weird.
Shame is something that you have to learn, though, right? You have to pick that up. No one's really born with shame, do you think? I mean, this is kind of a larger conversation, but
Why are we getting into this?
no, we don't have to.
I don't think we need to dive too deep into this rabbit hole. I will say though, like 7-8-year-old Colin, maybe I'd say about 7-8 years old. I was the kid that like didn't know how to like pee without pulling your pants all the way down yet. Yeah. I was that kid.
We're just such good.
Listen.
We're just such good supportive friends. We just laugh and
We do it out of love, though, of course.
Yeah.
he's sitting here confiding and opening up to us the inner recess of his
hey,
soul.
dude,
We're just like cracking up.
Yeah, dude. No, I was an interesting kid. And it wasn't like I did it. I didn't I went out of my way to try not to do it around people. Like I was conscious of at least that. I guess.
Dude, I've certainly listen. I have certainly working in spaces that were public. I have certainly walked in on elderly gentlemen with pants all the way down, underwear all the way down the floor.
That's awkward.
Yikes.
That is awkward.
I have walked in on that. I've had to witness that, unfortunately.
Yo, actually, that happened to me. It wasn't even an older guy. He was like, I think he was
your
handicapped.
professor.
I know. I think he was handicapped. No, this was at work, motherfucker.
Hey, Colin, you want that A, right?
Please stop. Don't take this conversation any further.
We can't keep going down this road.
Or can we?
Robert, just take us to our next segment, please.
No, we
Take us to our
can't.
next segment.
Keep going. Let's wrap this up properly.
What?
Yeah,
there was a mentally handicapped dude, I'm pretty sure, and
Okay.
he just had his. I just walked into the bathroom because we're supposed to clean up the floor in the bathroom, like sweep it up or whatever every hour on the hour.
Right.
And I walk in there and I just get flashed in the face by some dude's ass that's at the urinal, and I'm just like, oh, what the.
Nice.
Speaking of being flashed in the face by someone's ass, this is just a very short side note. A friend of mine at work, a coworker who I thought I could trust, recommended a show to me to watch today. And I told that person, well, you should watch Terrace House too. So I thought that we had a good deal going. We can talk about Terrace House. We can talk about this other show called This Is Us. I think it's on NBC, and it's on Hulu too.
I've heard of this.
Okay, so why then, like no less than all of 7 seconds into the first episode, is a dude's ass straight up splashed on the front of the screen? I'm like, what has happened to me? You've broken this chain of trust now. I don't know what to do. So I don't know.
Is it an unspoken trust thing that your friends don't recommend to friends shows with dude ass right at the beginning of a show?
Straight in the beginning. I mean, let me tell you. Okay,
dude,
spoilers for Terrace House. There's no dude ass, at least in the first 26 episodes, I can say.
I mean, hey, man, you're saying you can't appreciate a nice dude ass every once in a while?
What do you mean appreciate?
Can we stop saying dude ass? Because I'm starting to feel like that's like another word on its own.
Isn't that what you said? Were you the first one to just say it just now?
It is, but then when I heard someone else say it, I was like, no, we can't keep going with that.
I just like how
Robert,
you say,
you are a bad influence, Robert.
Colin, I just like how you say, can I appreciate it? Like I hit pause and just sit there, stroke my chin, like, yes.
Yeah,
I mean, you
like
you
the
don't.
Mona Lisa or
Is that what
something.
you're saying, Jack? You can't just appreciate a piece of work.
I don't.
it's like the Mona Lisa. You can't tell if it's smiling back at you or not.
Oh, I'm getting dizzy. Oh.
Please, can we move on?
All right,
It's
we'll cut it off here.
Okay,
We need to cut it off here.
I just think when you know the show starts like that, you should at least be like, bro, just so you know. And that's all. I was caught unawares.
Fair enough.
And to segue into that, another way I was caught unawares was with Blade Runner.
Good segue. Thanks. So just here at the top of the show, I guess, just letting you know at the end, we are still doing that Blade Runner 2049 spoiler cast, except instead of calling it a spoiler cast, I think we're going to call it a post-mortem. You can tune in at the end if you're interested. It'll be pretty cool. And next week, we're probably going to all have seen The Foreigner by then, which is that new Jackie Chan film that basically looks like Taken, but with Jackie Chan instead of Liam Neeson.
Neeson's.
We might do a spoiler cast of that next week. If that interests you, check it out next week. See the movie this weekend. It'll be a lot of fun. I'd also like to apologize for the audio quality last week. It kind of wasn't that great with Colin and I in the same room.
Yeah.
So,
internet got turned off at the last second. Had to make some last minute I don't know, plans, I guess, to get the episode out to you guys. So apologies for that on my part.
So
couldn't be helped.
Lesson learned. Hopefully that will not happen again. Hopefully this week's audio is incredibly delicious in your ears.
We're committed to audio excellence up in those ear holes for y'all. Just want you to know.
Right. Oh, and just a shout out to Discord for finally getting video.
Oh yeah, it's pretty great. Let's get into the show though. So did you guys see the new Justice League trailer? Dropped on Sunday?
Saw it a couple times.
Couple. All right. Colin,
I didn't actually see it.
okay.
But
fair enough.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, well, so I'm really curious. Jack, you're the one, I think, of the three of us who is like the least excited about what the new Justice League movie has to offer. So I'm kind of curious your thoughts, feelings, opinions on this trailer. Has it changed anything for you?
So let me begin by saying that Batman is absolutely, unequivocally my favorite superhero featured in a movie. Okay, there have been some really awesome Batman movies out. There have also been some really terrible ones out consequently. However, if you take all the heroes, Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, etc., Batman absolutely stands head and shoulders above all of them. Dark Knight, probably one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. So, Zack Snyder also, 300 was pretty good. I can't think of anything aside from 300 that Zack Snyder did that I was like, yeah, that's awesome. Other than make movies that make really great trailers and really terrible movies. That's kind of his modus operandi for me. So when I knew that Zack Snyder was taking over the Justice League films, I panicked instantly. I gave him the benefit of the doubt because Man of Steel was kind of almost there, on the way there. There were some good things. But then he dropped off. And now Joss Whedon is on the project. And he is the person that directed the first 2 Avengers movies. Say what you want about the second one. The first one, I think, is a masterpiece. It's just got everything you could want. It's got humor. It's got good character development. It has great ensemble cast, etc. So now we're seeing the fruits of the Joss Whedon tree dropping from the branches, right? And this trailer now has his fingerprints all over it. The tone of this trailer is completely different than anything that's come out before. And I think this is clearly their best. I don't know if it will win anyone else over. It's kind of winning me over. It's giving me hope for the film now. Like, okay, this isn't going to be a Zack Snyder film. It's going to be a Joss Whedon film. This is a good thing. And so my faith is renewed in having at least a good time and not suffering through the film like I did with Batman v Superman. So I'm pretty hype. I mean, I'll go. I'm not going to bend over backwards to get there opening night, but if I get a movie pass thing going, I certainly will sit down and check out the film. I think they're on the right track.
Yeah, I kind of agree based on what I've seen. And I mean, I know I'm the DC universe apologist of the three of us usually. But I think this trailer is like actually looking decent. Like before, when I've seen trailers of DC films or whenever I see DC films, I'm usually like, at least they did X right. At least they did Y right. Like I always tout like the Superman, like Man of Steel and like Batman versus Superman movies. Like I've always touted like they're pretty cool live action Dragon Ball movies. Like the action scenes are cool.
True, yeah.
But like Wonder Woman was the first movie where I was like, I don't need to defend it. I think it stands on its own.
For sure.
And I think this was the first trailer in the DC universe that was like, I don't need to defend this. I think it's actually looking pretty solid. I think it could maybe turn some heads. It might be a little too late now because we're like a month out from the premiere.
Yeah.
It's kind of pretty late in the marketing cycle for a movie. But I think maybe Justice League will turn out actually being pretty good. Actually being a pretty solid DC film.
Yeah, speaking of turning heads, they really didn't waste any time with this trailer. Sorry, Colin, but you didn't see it. But Superman makes his appearance right away. And I was like, whoa, they're just showing him. Hey, he's in this film. They're not going to be coy about it anymore.
I mean, they pulled the kind of coy thing where it's like, I mean, I guess spoilers for a trailer, but they pulled it off that like it was all a dream that Lois Lane was having, like, is it real? Ooh, who knows?
He's in the film.
Oh
for
my
sure.
God, he's in the movie.
Yeah,
sure.
come on, he totally
Come
is.
on.
And they're really taking the Superman character. They're really trying to distance his character from that old motto, like truth, justice, and the American way.
Yeah.
They're much more making him like a global character rather than like an American-centric character, even though he grew up and lives in Kansas.
Right.
Smallville,
Yeah.
right? So it's like you never really even hear that anymore. It used to be synonymous with Superman, but no more. What does that mean?
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I cannot. I'm sorry, guys. I just cannot get over Cyborg's design in this movie. It just looks so ass to me, dude.
He is better in this trailer.
For
Okay,
sure.
I've seen him before because it really irks me before as well. But he's better in this trailer. We'll have to see because that character needs some work. Is his whole character that he has no personality? Like he is a robot.
No, it's
it's his physical design, his CG like makeup, and I just don't like.
But he has a human soul.
Yeah, no, he was originally a human who like lost a lot of body parts and stuff, so they like grafted on robot parts on him to keep him alive.
So he's RoboCop, basically.
Yeah.
My point being is that every time I see Cyborg in anything, it's like he has a very wooden, robotic kind of performance, and I don't know if that's like a character trait or if he's just a bad actor.
See, I'm going off of Cyborg as in the original Teen Titans animated series.
Booyah.
Yeah, booyah.
Okay, you have a point of reference then that I don't have. Yeah,
see, because that's, I mean, granted, I know that's not necessarily the same canonical Cyborg from like the comics, but like, I mean, that's how I pictured the character, and he just doesn't really show a lot of that, and I just don't like how his physical, like his design is. He just looks like a throwaway Transformer from one of the Michael Bay movies.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
That's pretty rough.
I mean, it's true. It really, that's what he looks like, man.
It's not a great design, and it's not I don't know, it just doesn't look modern, right? It looks like it was from a past era of CG, not a modern era of CG. So, and it's already finalized. I mean, he's in the film. He is what he is. We'll see if Joss Whedon can save it. I'm almost certain that if this was still Zack Snyder, it would have most definitely sucked. So we'll see if they can turn the suck knob down on that character in time.
But speaking of the suck knob being turned down, y'all check out that Last Jedi trailer dropped on Monday.
Star Wars never sucked. What kind of segue is that?
The suck knob. I'm saying the suck knob is down because it doesn't. Whatever.
It's ripped off. Thrown in the trash.
Your analogies, man. I tell you what.
It was a shitty transition, and I'll own up to it. But anyway, what did you guys think of that trailer?
Oh, I am not ashamed to say that I did get goosebumps a couple times that trailer. Rian Johnson, who is the director of this film, is at the top of his game, I'm hoping. And it seems like it. I mean, I can't say until I see the film. I was suckered into pre-purchasing opening weekend tickets, but I didn't get in until 9:35 p.m. that Sunday. So I'm going to have to spend like 3-4 days like dark, right? Like Yikes. Not on the internet, because I have a huge feeling that there's going to be some massive things, story beats that will be spoiler territory.
Oh, it'll all be spoiled.
Because to quote Luke in this trailer, this is not going to end up the way you think.
Yes.
Something is happening, and the mysteries, some will be answered, but even deeper mysteries I think will be opened up. Like who is Snoke?
Yeah, like I'm really glad that you brought up the idea of like having to go dark, because like I remember when episode 7 like first dropped, like it was within 24 hours that spoilers were like all over. Like there was no getting away from it. Hey, post-production Robert here. Just thought I'd let you know that Colin's about to spoil Star Wars Episode 7 in a most distasteful way. So, spoiler warning?
Yeah, hey, look at this picture of a Twinkie. Oh, Han Solo was killed by his son Kylo Ren.
Oh, hold on. Just call out spoilers at least before you do that.
Everyone who's anyone has had that fucking part.
Listen, I know, but it's just like good podcast etiquette to just say spoilers and then say it. Damn.
God, Jesus.
Colin off the rails today.
Hey, just bleep me. Just bleep me then, Robert.
So no,
yeah,
that ain't happening either. So let me tell you how that got spoiled for me. Okay, we were in my wife, where she worked at the time, was at Easton, and we were at a comedy club, the Funny Bone or something like that, and it was a gathering of her coworkers, and obviously it's just a walk right across the hall to the movie theater. We did not pre-purchase tickets for The Force Awakens, but it's like a 24-screen movie theater, right? So we're like, fuck it, let's just walk up there. I'm sure we'll find something. And sure enough, we did. So we just basically that day, that like an hour before the show, walked in, got tickets, sat down. I was the dumbass. My fault. I completely acknowledge that. Who thought, oh, we should Periscope right now. In the theater, not the movie, but just be like, oh man, we're excited to watch Star Wars. It's opening night. We're pumped. And this is us Periscoping before the film. So someone on there just literally put 2 words, spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Han dies. That's all they put in the comments, and I saw it, and I was like, I was salty. I'm not gonna lie. I was a little bit, and it wasn't a huge shock to me, just because I know the Harrison Ford's feelings of that character. I know his background. I know he wanted to be separated from the film. And I knew he wanted the character to die. Like, I've known all that for years, so it wasn't like a massive shock to me, like Luke, I'm your father would have been back in the 80s, right? But still, it would have been nice, because I'm literally, I went without being spoiled, and right before literally the movie starts, I get spoiled at the 11th hour. It was a shitty way to go.
Yikes. So I don't know. I hope when episode 8 drops this winter, maybe the internet will be just a little bit kinder about whatever happens.
Not a chance. I'm going dark. Like I said, I'm going dark.
So I've heard from my very Star Warsy, like, I have a couple friends that are like nerdy into Star Wars. Like, they get into the extended universe stuff and they get really hard into it. And I've heard a lot of strong speculation, or them speculating that apparently Luke Skywalker might be going Gray Jedi. If you guys know what that means.
See, that was never a thing before. Like, they invented that recently. So he's wearing gray. So he's like Gandalf the Grey of Jedi. So he's not light, he's not dark, I guess. Like, you know, it's just like a Jedi that has all the powers. So I don't know anything about it, but again, like, this to me is getting like spoilery. Like, I don't know right now, and I don't really want to know. So just be careful whatever you say next.
No,
well,
I'm okay.
Yeah, I think we should probably just cut the discussion here, just to like mitigate the chance of spoilers happening. Just
the trailer's good. Bottom line, I think it's good. I'm a Star Wars fan. Go watch it. What do you guys think of the trailer overall?
I think it looks relatively better than 7, because I think they're just going to explore a lot more. Because I think 7 was like, I go by a lot of other people's opinions. I think it was pretty by the books. You know what I mean? Like, it was pretty like, oh, okay, it's Star Wars.
It was for, I feel like, okay, if I'm going to be the 7 apologist, it was for the people that hated the prequels. That hated everything about the prequels. This is like, look, guys, Star Wars is back. We know how to do it. We know what you want. Here it is. You know, it was fan service, the movie, you know.
Yeah, so I don't think it was a bad movie by any means, but I'm not going to like go out of my way to watch it over and over again by any means either, so.
Okay, I watch it probably once every 3 months.
I don't know. I think with this trailer of episode 8, I think, because I remember the director Rian Johnson first tweeting, like, if you want to go in blind, don't watch this trailer. Like, it could spoil stuff for you. And then he kind of doubled back on it and said, no, go ahead and watch it. Yeah. What I think this trailer does is, like, yes, if you want to go in super blind, don't watch it. But that's just because every trailer spoils something. But watching it, I think, has raised way more questions for me about the film than answers. You know, like, oh, what does that mean? What does this mean? Like, oh, you know, like, it just makes me, like, as a trailer should, way more excited to watch the film to see the answers to any of those questions that I have, if they even answer them.
There are some shocking elements that happen in the trailer. Just go watch it, everybody. But, you know, the very end definitely leaves you asking more questions and kind of gasping and kind of debating, like, what is actually going to transpire, because they can get creative with how they cut the trailers. This wouldn't be the first time a movie would mislead you going into a film, just to, you know, rip the rug completely out from underneath you, to actually have a real plot twist punch you in the chest, you know, the way it was intended to be. So this could all be a red herring. We just, you know, we won't know until December, but I have a feeling, you know, like that December's going to be here.
Yeah, it could all just be a trap. But let's move on to the games section of our podcast. So, Jack, do you want to hit us off? Let us know what you've been playing.
Some good old standbys, and no, they're really all just good old standbys here. So we start with I'm back on that SNES tip, guys, with the SNES Classic, but I'm only playing one game. And that game is still Final Fantasy VI. I'm about 13, 14 hours into it. Ooh. And I literally have the strategy guide pulled out, because now I am a big fan of not playing a game the first time with the strategy guide. But I am a big fan of, okay, once you played it and experienced it, if you want to squeeze every last drop of fun out of it, I think it's completely fine to have a guide out. by your side and just see all the side quests, see all the new items you might not have, you might have missed the first go around. So I'm at that point. This is like literally the 7th, 8th time I've played through this game. So I've got the guide out. I'm doing all the things. I'm having a lot of fun. The game is still great. I think the game is still timeless. It's still one of the most influential RPGs of all time. My personal favorite RPG of all time. I'm just having a good time. I got to the iconic Opera House scene. I don't know if you guys have heard anything about that or know anything of that.
I know of it.
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. It's always been on a bunch of lists for like one of the best moments in video games or whatever, lists like that.
It's just, there's literally like, how many games come out on Steam every day, right? Like thousands.
45.
Like of all the games that are in existence, there are moments of Final Fantasy VI that only exist in that one game. Like no RPG has ever done anything like several scenes, and it's very episodic. It's very nicely kind of compact, like, okay, this is this part, this is this part, this is this segment. It'd be a very good game to, it's just the pacing is masterfully crafted. And also I'm now kind of with my adult brain coming back and revisiting this game. It's very dark game, much darker than I remember, but at the same time a lot of humor, even more humor than I remember. So it's just something, again, I can't recommend enough. I know I talk about it a lot, but I'm going to continue to play it, and I'm really happy that I've kind of fallen back in again to this game. So Final Fantasy VI, again, I can't say enough nice things about it. So,
yeah. Just real quick, Jack. So SNES Classic Edition, GameStop just announced that they're actually restocking this week. I don't know if they have them right this minute, but they did say they're restocking this week. So I was half thinking about tomorrow actually going out and looking for one if I can.
Cool.
Second, they actually hacked the SNES Classic and figured out a way to put more ROMs on it, which I'm totally done with. I did that with my NES Classic, dude, and it actually worked flawlessly.
Yeah, I'm actually
no
thinking about doing it.
Like, it doesn't come as a surprise to me, just because it's not like the SNES Classic is different from the NES Classic. They're both basically like Raspberry Pis.
No, yeah, it was only a matter of time.
Someone actually opened up. I mean, a lot of people have opened up the SNES Classic, and it's already been determined and confirmed it's exactly the same hardware as the NES Classic, just in a different shell. It's the same thing. It's the same architecture, same everything.
It doesn't surprise me that it's already been modded and all. Jack, have you played anything else this past week?
Yeah, I did get back into, again, that conversation we had a couple weeks ago about the top 10 time suckers. Really kind of got my memories flowing of some of these games, and I went back and I revisited City Skylines, fell back in love with that. And this week, they had that giant Call of Duty sale on Steam, where a lot of it was 50% off. Let me tell you, too, let me just vent real quickly on this, please. $30 is way too much for Black Ops 2. Okay, yeah. And that's with 50% off. They're still selling that game. They have the cojones to keep Call of Duty Black Ops 2 at $59.99 regular price. Get
so
over
stupid.
yourselves. Like, it's so annoying because it is a great game. It's one of my favorite with the Pick 10 system and the multiplayer. It's one of my favorite Call of Duty and games ever, multiplayer wise. I think the maps are really well designed and everything. But there's no way I can in good conscience spend $30 to rebuy that game again on PC, and they're calling that a discount. Like, Merry Christmas, it's 50% off, it's $30. Like, forget you. Like, I'm not going to do that. So, okay, I'll get off my soapbox there. But $10 is a great price, I think, for the game I did play a lot, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Came out in 2009, Infinity Ward, of course, and it just, man, I was back in the saddle. I had to do a couple adjustments to the controls, but after I figured all that out, ironed it out, I definitely got the feel back again that I was back on my PS3 in 2009, 2010, and it was really shocking to me how familiar the maps were to me and how much I still remembered of them. And it was muscle memories kicking in, and I was getting better as time was going on. I was like, man, I could really get into this. So there was only about 1,000 people playing. So it's a very small community on PC, but it was fun. Didn't run into too many hackers or anything like that ruining it as well. But a lot of people are very good at that game. So,
man, nothing like an 8v8 on Rust.
Yeah, dude, that is. Wait, what?
Yeah. But I think there's one game mode it was like, was it 16 players instead of 12? I think it was Ground War.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you could do. It was like a mixture between is it deathmatch and something else, something like that. Anyway, yeah, you could. It would do 8v8 instead of 6v6, and I would get in lobbies where we played Rust on that.
Yeah.
And it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it is one of the great multiplayer games in history, in my opinion. I mean, I think there's a couple Call of Duties on that list. I think Halo 2 fits nicely on that list. Obviously, Counter-Strike, Team Fortress 2, etc. But I had a lot of fun, and $9.99 was an entry point that I definitely felt like I am getting a good value out of that. And then so I revisited that again. I would play it. I would play more in the future. I did go back and warm up the Switch, power that on, and I played some Golf Story as well. I played the second kind of world, and I was saying, like, can they keep this level of variety up? And the answer so far, 4 hours in the game, is yes. It's great so far. I don't know how long this game is. I feel like it's going to be pretty long, though, because, again, I'm multiple hours in, and I can already see new worlds that I haven't visited yet that are not open to me yet that I'm going to go visit. But the story is very funny. All the golf mechanics work out really well. They're really tight, and it just keeps surprising me at every turn. So if you even are thinking about it, like, Golf Story to me is a winner for sure. It's one of my favorite games on Switch right now.
Yeah, it was between that and Stardew Valley for me, and Robert's like, nah, go with Stardew Valley, but I will get Golf Story at some point.
Yeah, Golf Story is great. I'm having a blast. Do you guys have any questions? I mean, I'm just kind of touching base with it.
Yeah. So, like, when you say worlds, like you said, you're on the second world.
Yeah.
Do you literally mean like
Planets?
another dimension, another planet, or something?
Well, I don't know how to answer that. It all feels like it's on the same planet, but the second course is it's called Lurker Lane or Lurker Field. I can't remember, Lurker something. But it's kind of creepy because there's like these plants that have eyeballs that are staring at you and blinking and stuff like all around. It's very surreal. And there's like a bunch of cavemen there, and everyone kind of talks like in caveman language. Kind of reminds me of like Chrono Trigger a little bit in that way. It's just so full of character, and I'm still unlocking many new powers as well. It is a very unique game. It's very innovative. There's nothing like it that I can think of. And for me, someone who's been a lifelong gamer, been playing since the 80s, variety is something that is few and far between. Truly new ideas are very hard to come by in gaming now. Much of gaming is very iterative, very just like movies, very remake focused, very sequel focused. So when something's new and not very uncommon, that scores extra points for me on the innovation tip. And I really cannot think of any game that is like Golf Story, period. It's a great hybrid of many cool ideas executed very well on a great system too to play it.
Yeah, because I've been hearing like a lot of buzz about this game, and it's kind of making me like,
dude, it's $15 bucks. It's $15 bucks.
I know, but I also just bought Stardew on the Switch.
$15.
That's how
Man,
much Stardew was.
we ain't made of money like you are, Jack. All right,
I know.
Get off your high horse.
I'm not made of money, but I'm just saying Golf Story is worth $15. Easy sell. So
is Stardew Valley. Colin, you mentioned that you picked it up, right?
Yes, I did. I picked up Stardew Valley just today, actually, because today was the first time I've gotten to actually play games in a long while because of school and work and all that fun, regular life people stuff.
Get used to it.
Yeah, right. But anyway, Stardew Valley, for very, very early first impressions. Wow, does this game have a lot of charm to it. Took me way too long to create a character because in any game where I create a character, it takes me way too long. So I created my my waifu bait character. And of course, a girl with short red hair and blue and green eyes or whatever. I can't. What did I name my farm? I don't remember what I named my farm. Oh, I was gonna. I don't know. I was like basically just writing like the first thing that popped into my head. So I was gonna call it Hammett Ranch, as in Kirk Hammett from Metallica. He has his own farm. and it's called
Well,
Hammett
then.
Ranch. That's what popped into my head.
I'm into that. I'm into that.
Yeah. So I was gonna call it that, but and so what happens is I typed it in, and when I got to ranch, it let me type it all in, but when it actually threw it up in game, it cuts off the H in ranch, so it's Hammett Rank.
Sounds like a Star Wars like creature, right?
I know. Rancor.
Yeah, like the Rancor is like dad or something.
Yeah. The
Hammett Rank.
Before there was rank, or Rancors, there was ranks.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that happened. So when I'm thrusting into the game, they they give the whole intro, like the little bit of story stuff, and like why you have the farm and how you got there, which is cool. All the characters seem pretty nice, and I like how that has like all the social systems and stuff, which I haven't dealt with too much yet. But the first thing that happened when I got into the game was like, okay, so like, what do I do? like what do I do? I have no fucking clue what I'm doing in this game.
It's almost like when you open up out of the cave in Oblivion, right? You come out from the catacombs and you're just revealed this giant world, and you're almost paralyzed by choice.
Right. I was like cognitive dissonance.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I like about that game, though, honestly, is that you can do whatever you want. Like, there's never a wrong choice to make in Stardew Valley. Like, there's no action you can take where you end the day feeling like, man, that's going to hurt me in the future.
Really?
That's what I think.
Yeah, okay. I haven't played much of the game. I'm just
I mean, and I started looking up a couple like starter tips or whatever just to like kind of point me in the right direction, and I haven't found too much yet. So like I was hoping, Robert, you could give me a few starter tips since we're talking about it. Yeah.
Okay. Start planting ASAP. Just
Which
use
I've done that.
all your money, of your money. Throw
he's
it
in the
at
grow
seeds.
operation now.
Yeah, just keep growing shit. That's gonna you're gonna be poor for a while, but when you're able to sell it all back, you'll have yourself a pretty cushy starting point. And then take up a hobby.
This seeds, it's called sweet leaf seed. What is that? I don't know what that.
And then I'd pick up a hobby like fishing or mining.
Okay.
That gives you some good money when you sell all that stuff.
Let me ask you. This is a real question here. Like I know the value of this game. I've seen people fall into holes with this game. Like, is it relaxing, calming, and soothing, or are there stressful elements to the game?
It's very, very relaxing. It is one of the most relaxing experiences I think you can have as a human being.
Are there like time limits to things? Don't you have to go to the caves or the dungeons and get stuff by a certain time, or it just goes away? Or I don't know how it works.
You can. So like you have until I think it's midnight or 2 a.m. until your character collapses.
Right.
And then
From
you're just
exhaustion,
teleported.
you just work them so hard.
Yeah, and then you're teleported back home, and you start the next day with half of your stamina bar instead of the whole thing. That's kind of the only big time limit I can think of, the closest thing to that.
How long do days take in the game?
Oh, I've never actually timed it out.
Would you guess 15, 20 minutes, half an hour? Shorter?
A day? No, I mean, you can actually end 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds right. Right. I mean, shit, even if it's okay, I've done all that I need to do today, and I'm pretty exhausted already, so you can just go sleep and then skip to the next day. So
right.
At least that's what I've seen so far. So.
Okay.
It depends on what you want to do. If you want to make the effort to try and talk to every townsperson every day, that's probably going to take more time, real world time. But if you just want to, I wake up, I water my crops, I go into the cave, and I hunt down rocks.
Do
you go to bed?
Do the cops come and try and snatch your crops ever?
The crows?
Wait, do the cops ever try and come and snatch your crops?
Are you talking the Fuzz, the Popo, the 5-0?
I don't even think there's police in this game.
Okay,
I
yeah.
think there is. What do you think? Stardew Valley, the Kush growing simulator. You got to grow your Kush, but you can't let the cops know.
There's a Payday 2 tie-in where multiplayer teams come in, snatch your apples, apple snatchers.
What is happening?
Okay, no, go ahead. I digress.
No, Yeah, you like sometimes crows can like take your crops, so that's why you build a scarecrow to scare them. Yep.
Yeah,
Lots
see,
of
that's
stuff like
already
that.
happened to me twice, and I'm like, motherfuckers, like, I'm just waiting to build a scarecrow.
What about
Sons of
moles?
bitches.
Are there any other animals that kind of are menaces, or just the crows, really?
All I can think of is the crows. Other than that, all the animals are animals you can like tame and like domesticate, like cows.
Do you have to?
chicken.
Is there a Monsanto license in this game where you have to, where if you're caught reseeding, you get thrown into jail?
No. There's no jail. This is a happy, cushy little town where you can do whatever you want,
All right,
except
sorry.
for kill people.
I watched too many food documentaries on Netflix. I apologize.
Now, I found in this game, I found a cave. So does that mean is there some sort of like small version of dungeon crawling in this game?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
talking about you go to
Yes.
the dungeon to get stuff. Like you'll see.
You'll get
Oh.
like copper and iron, like and then you can use that to
Yo.
make your farm tools better and stuff. It's cool.
Dude, yeah.
I also can
Okay.
confirm. I mean, I think Switch is a great platform to play this game on, but I will say that this game looks fantastic in 21:9 aspect ratio, 3440 by 1440p. It actually looks so good that way. You actually see way more on the sides, and it's just a awesome looking game on PC. So
Yeah, I kind of wanted to chime in about the Switch, like the Switch version itself, because I played it a lot on PC, obviously. The Switch version, it's very nice. Like, obviously, since the resolution's smaller, like, you see less of the world, like, per screen, But it's not like, you don't really need to see anything from far off. Like, there's no, like, fireball coming in from across the screen or anything like that, So it's not a tense thing. But I will say the save times are, like, really long. And maybe I'm just used
Yeah.
to fast save time just because I've got like an SSD in my PC, but they're like really long.
I noticed that. Like I was ending the day, it was like, oh, do not shut off your console or whatever while saving. This could take a long time. It literally says this
Whoa.
could take a long time. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh,
they need
what
to,
the hell?
They need to patch
Like
that.
commonly I like put it down and wait for the the crow, or not the crow, the rooster to go like cock-a-doodle-doo, and like I listen for that, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it's time to pick up my Switch again.
Whoa.
Like it's a long enough time where I feel the need to not have the console in my hand for a little
Wow.
bit.
When you need SMS alerts to when you can play your game again, there's a problem. That's
Yeah.
all I'll say.
You mean every mobile game ever?
It's terrible.
Hey,
What if they make you?
Hey.
What if they make you pay for lower load times?
oh, that's stupid.
Not the
Chucklefish
first
would
case
never
of
do that.
not the first case of terrible pay to win practices though. We're going to be talking about today.
Hey, we don't need to be giving EA and WB some more ideas. All right.
Seriously,
But yeah, I just to put a pin in the Stardew Valley thing, like can't recommend it enough if you're looking for a farming sim. It's on like PS4, Xbox One, PC, now the Switch. So like you kind of have no excuse to not be playing it.
it is
saying.
only $14 or $15, and you
Yeah.
will not find a better price to gameplay time ratio. I think in gaming this year.
For sure. I want to talk about a game that I played over the weekend. I played the Star Wars Battlefront 2 beta. I played a little bit with Jack and then some other friends of mine. Wow, that game, I'm torn so hard about how I feel about that game. I guess let's start with the positives. It's
Would you play it on?
cool. I played it on PC. I don't know for sure if the beta was open on PS4 or Xbox One, but I mean it'll be coming to those consoles when it officially comes out November 17, I believe.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it looks great. It looks phenomenal. It looks so pretty. Like Jack, when you and I play, like I remember you commenting like this looks good.
It is a graphical and audio tour de force. Absolutely. It
Like-
makes every dollar I spent on this PC seem worth it.
Yeah, and the audio too. I wanted to touch on that. It's just like there's nothing like playing a shooter and actually hearing the Star Wars soundtrack like bum ba dum ba dum ba 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 ba, like under that. It's just it feels so driving. It's really really cool. Like I didn't think I'd care as much about hearing the John Williams score like underneath me shooting the rebel scum, but it's like it was really cool and it felt really nice. And all the like the phaser sounds it puts a smile on your face. Like when you're flying a TIE fighter and you hear the iconic laser shooting noise, like it feels really nice. It's a game that if you even mildly like Star Wars, it's a game that'll make you feel like you're in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, it's a fantastic game on its own right, but for being a Star Wars fan, like it only, is an extra layer of icing on a pretty awesome cake so far. I thought I would like this game. I don't know if you remember back when we did our E3 episode, but I was pretty hype on it then. And now that I've played it, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to buy this game. I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to have fun with it. And there's a lot more game here now. I can mount a better argument for Battlefront 2 than I could for Battlefront 1, because the larger criticism of the first game came out 2 years ago is that there isn't much of a game there. There's some limited multiplayer modes, and that's kind of it, and it's $60 full price game, right? And then I remember it was like a $50 season pass, right? It was like ridiculous. So you had to pay over $100 for not even a complete game experience. This is different this time. With Battlefront 2, they have a full single-player mode, story mode. They have upped the ante, and they're not shy about showing you either, because what happens when you first boot up the beta? They pull out these basic, like, PowerPoint slides to show you, right? Like, we have 3 times the amount of heroes, 18 times the amount of guns. Like, I don't know. It was a weird way to do it. And John Boyega's there staring you in the face, like,
yeah, that's my favorite contacts. Thing. It's like hi, I'm John Boyega, and you're playing Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah, it's really, really cheesy. I get what they're going for, but
John Boyega, remember he put out tweets. It was like, "Hey EA, where the hell's the single player campaign in this Battlefront game?"
Yeah.
See, now looking back on it now, I feel like that was like an orchestrated marketing move. I don't feel like that. I don't even feel like that was a sincere tweet now, based on what the output of that. But like you said, it's going to be hard for me to imagine a better looking and sounding game this year. I'm not saying it's impossible, but I'm just saying it's hard to imagine, because this game looks good.
Yeah, I will say, like, my experience from the little experience I had with the first game, the sound design and the visuals just absolutely blew me away. There wasn't much. It was pretty shallow otherwise. The game as a whole, but sound design and visuals they went all in on.
Especially with I think they have Dolby Atmos implemented, like, in the audio engine, and I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I'm not really asking a lot of this game, and everything I am asking, it's sort of giving me, with a few caveats. I mean, I'll wait to have a final verdict on it once I actually get my hands on the full release when it comes out next month. But the beta did its job, and it sold me. And I can't think of many other franchises or developers, for that instance, in DICE, that do, where are they based out of Sweden, right?
I think so.
Yeah, and that do such a great job at making you feel like you're actually part of this giant war that's going on. And they're just so successful at that. It's just slick looking. It's just hitting all the buttons for me to, like, yeah, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna pull the trigger on this game. Pun intended, I guess.
However, this game is not without its flaws.
Sure.
And I think this is a good segment into the news section of the podcast. So here's the thing. OpenCritic, which is like, it's a lot like Metacritic in a way, they're taking a stand on loot boxes. And I'm not saying this is coming hot off the heels of, like, Star Wars Battlefront 2's loot box plan, but the Battlefront 2 loot box plan is, like, atrocious. It's really bad. I'm not a fan of it.
They took a lot of time and effort, and I think there's, like, a real evil team at EA behind this, because they obviously are applying some really evil elements of economics to drive and motivate people to spend money after they've already bought a full price game.
Yeah.
And it's just not appreciated. It's not asked for, and they're getting away with it. I hate it.
So to kind of, like, give a quick detail of, like, what the loot box system is for Battlefront. So you have all the different classes, like assault, heavy, specialist, all that stuff. And then you have, like, all of your heroes. Like, you can eventually play as Boba Fett, Han Solo, as Rey, etc. To upgrade these characters, you need to get like cards that are, like, basic stuff like shorter cooldown on this, or like longer ability effect on that. They're things that affect how the character plays, and you can equip up to 3 of them once you get a character up to level 10. The way you earn these cards is through loot boxes that you can buy via in-game currency, or probably most likely you'll be able to spend real money to get in-game currency to then get the loot boxes. And that's the only way to get the cards. The only way to level up your character, though, is by collecting cards. Like, it doesn't matter how many hours you have on the Assault class, it won't level up until you've collected like 10 cards or whatever. Which, again, the only way to collect cards is through loot boxes. So the only way to progress to make your character stronger is through in-game currency loot boxes, or you could probably buy them.
Or you can give us a little bit of...
buy them.
Yes, just, some money. Just over here. No big deal. You want to be stronger, right?
Like, it's literally paid. Like, if you spend $60 day one to buy the game and then decide, I've got another $50 lying around, let's just drop that on loot boxes, you're going to be stronger than all the other people playing that game for the next day or two, at least.
They've got some gumption, man, and really just coming full force and implementing this pay-to-win kind of model. I just think a lot of developers have been shy on doing this, and EA is like, fuck it.
Yeah.
We need, our stock is low. We need, Mass Effect Andromeda bombs. Like, we need to figure something out quickly.
Oh my God. So,
like, it doesn't help. Well, hold on. It doesn't help that the loot crates also contain cosmetics that don't level up your character at all. So there's literally a chance at making your character better or just making your character cooler.
Right.
But not both.
It's evil. It's just pure evil. And the people that are going to win, the people that are losing are consumers. The people that are going to win are the developers. And people are just, it works though. That's the evil behind this. There are these whales, right, that make up like the top 2 to 3% of spenders. They spend a shitload of money on games. It's like and I'm talking like into the thousands of dollars. Okay, it's hard for me to even stomach the fact that I've spent way more than I care to admit on loot boxes in Overwatch. But that's purely cosmetic. Okay, that doesn't affect at all what abilities you have, etc. It's just like how everything looks, and that's a game that I've spent hundreds of hours in, and I enjoy it, and I don't mind spending that money. But the thought of having to spend money to maybe level up, potentially or not, right? It's just really sick. It's a really sour, it's a really sickening kind of sour element of this game that really draws me away from it and really distracts me from having fun playing the multiplayer. Like, based on this, like, just on principle, I would never want to spend a dime on this.
Yeah, and honestly, it's disgusting. It's just another disgusting business practice that these publishers are coming up with, man. And it's just, so obviously loot boxes, they're the new hot trend. They're the new online pass. They're the new, I don't know, give me another anti-consumer practice, whatever. Insert an
season pass.
Yeah, season pass, I guess. So, I mean, we can't deny that loot boxes are becoming a force, right? I mean, there was that article floating around about what Blizzard made $3.8 billion or some shit like that on loot boxes in Overwatch.
I didn't know that. Oh
$3.8 billion.
No way.
But at least those loot boxes are just like costumes and dances.
Exactly.
Like, it's not like you're gonna roll like, oh, now you can build Reaper's ult 10% faster. Like, no, that's not gonna happen.
Dude, loot boxes are like higher than the GDP of half the world's countries.
Yeah.
It's just
it's ridiculous.
It's like, last generation we had the thing with online passes. We had the thing where Capcom was being absolutely shitty, and they were basically selling you the ending to their games, a la Azura's Wrath.
Yeah.
And it's like, when is it going to end? Like, I understand it. Video game development is getting only more and more expensive, especially for the AAA side of things. But it's like, if one shady business practice gets damned, and then they just find another one to move on to and try to make their money there until it dies out and people are shitting on it so much that they need to move on to something else. So EA, I feel like EA did that thing they did that thing, where they got the worst company of the year once or a couple times.
Actually, I think it was like several years in a row.
It was at least 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Right. And like,
and they beat like Walmart for that, which is no small task.
Obviously, it was like, a lot of gamers were going in on this, and but it holds something, it holds some sort of candle to just how bad they really are, because they do these practices, man, and it just makes gaming look bad. I don't know. It's just,
and from my experience, it's a really good game. I hesitate to say great just because I haven't played the full game yet. But it's a really good game, and there's a lot of entertainment, a lot to enjoy there. But just the fact that they really just went whole hog and are now, you have to pay to be better and be stronger. Right. And the people that paid more money have a much greater chance of being stronger and have access to things that you'll never have access to if you don't buy this stuff.
Right. And and on a side note, Shadow of War, which just recently got released, apparently, a lot of people were going crazy about boycotting it because of the loot box system that was in the game. And I'm hearing stories that apparently it's not as bad as a lot of people were predicting it was going to be. So it's not really affecting the game as much as was predicted, which is good to hear. I mean, I don't think I'd want to still want to support something like that. And this whole loot box thing is becoming a way more popular like business practice within gaming, which is fine as long as it stays on the cosmetic side of things, like you see in Overwatch, when of course EA of all people comes out and they're like, never mind, we're just gonna go full on like pay to win style loot boxes, and to the point where your leveling up is tied to loot boxes. Well, it's like
here's the thing though, Shadow of War is a fucking single player game.
That's true.
Why does it need loot? It's a single player experience.
It's so dumb. No, it's completely.
I'm not trying to attest to what Shadow of War is doing at all, because I do not agree with it. Not at all. I'm
that
just saying
it shouldn't even be part of a single player game.
It shouldn't. But like, okay, so we don't need. But here's the thing though, we also don't know anything about Battlefront 2 single player either.
Right.
Don't even scare me with that. Oh God, please.
So far though, we haven't seen like, buy a loot box to see which ending you roll. Like, we haven't seen anything like that. So I don't think we need to worry so far. But because of all these loot boxes, OpenCritic, when they're like taking a look at a game and they're like talking about the features of it, one of the features they're thinking about like putting on their reviews are like loot boxes. Are they fair? Are they unfair? Do you need to pay to win? Are they cosmetics only? All that, like, they're going to analyze all the different dimensions around loot boxes when they're like talking about games, which I think is like a really cool thing. I think it's sad that the industry's at this point where review companies considering it.
I mean, it feels like it's warranted now. I mean, if loot boxes are going to continue to be a persistent thing, and with Blizzard making so much money with them right now, I don't see them going away anytime soon. They might be implemented in different ways, hopefully more practical ways, and not ways that are going to practically break your game that you're releasing. Right. I mean, as long as they stay on that side of the loot box side of things, they're gonna. I mean, it's warranted. Having something like that when reviewing a game is necessary. So,
the larger question, if we are willing to pull the camera back, is that games development is only getting more expensive, and the price of games they're trying to keep it at $59.99. But as you can tell with everything coming out now, it's the bare bones experience. It's the baseline experience. The reason DLC exists is just it's almost necessary to the development cycles that developers undertake now, and it contributes to the bottom line because they're just investing millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars into this. I remember back in the 90s, Final Fantasy 3 or Final Fantasy 6. Now that was $80 on Super Nintendo. Chrono Trigger was damn near $100. Phantasy Star 4 on Genesis was about $100. I just don't think that the market would be able to sustain if just a full complete game came out today and it was $100, but it was just a disc or a download. It would have to come with like some special controller or something like that, like Steel Battalion, or it'd have to be like Street Fighter with an arcade stick in order to even justify that. But this is the consequence of that, right? Like they're putting in X amount of dollars. They have to extract as much as they can per player, or it just does not make business sense.
Right.
So this is the high cost of having a $59.99 game, and that's
well,
it.
Yeah.
I think too is we're kind of crossing into the debate of how expensive games are, and we don't have to go into it, but a lot of it is tied to the fact that we still have brick and mortar stores. The reason why we still have that $59.99 price, even if we were to cut out brick and mortar stores now, games would cost relatively less. They would still be pretty pricey, but they would definitely wouldn't be $60 if we wouldn't have to worry about supporting brick and mortar stores, because that's just really what's holding it there. I mean, because it doesn't cost anything for a developer to put their game up for download. Really, the cost of production is what kills them a lot of the time.
Mm-hmm. Well, while we're talking about sad news, let's talk about some news that really shouldn't fucking be news. I hate that this is news. So, Bethesda, when they were marketing Wolfenstein 2, which if you know anything about the gaming industry, Wolfenstein is a 30, 40-year-old IP that's just about killing Nazis.
Mecha Hitler, baby.
Yeah, literally, it's all about killing Nazis. Oh. So, in their marketing for Wolfenstein 2, the upcoming game, they said something like "Make America Nazi free again," which is I could support that. I don't need to be convinced really hard to support that. But because
it's not a hard sell, you would think.
Because of the fucking political climate today, people took offense at it and were like, "Wow, yeah, why don't you keep marketing to the leftist liberal cucks? Am I right?" It's like
Tifa.
Are you kidding? Literally Nazis. Hitler.
I know.
Holocaust.
Listen, man, the internet has now, there are a lot of great components about the internet, but it's also made it very easy to enter and remain in an echo chamber and find like-minded people and just sit here, and bounce around ideas. This concept has been explored ad nauseum. But I'm as shocked as you are completely that in America in damn near almost 2018,
yeah,
we have people that take umbrage with saying "Make America Nazi free." How many years we removed from World War II, people? Do we not, remember?
It's not like Wolfenstein goes out of its way to portray Nazis as they could be all right people. No, they go way out of their way to make Nazis seem like literally the scum of the earth. It's I would say almost caricatures, right? To an extent. So it's really, I don't understand human beings anymore. I just don't get it.
I just so I guess we're just supposed to let Nazis bring on the supernatural apocalypse then?
Is this what you want? Is this what you want? Listen, guys, I don't want to get too into it, but as you may know, I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast, but my grandfather he's 96 and he's a World War II veteran. He was in Pearl Harbor, on December 7th, 1942. He was there. And, he fought the Pacific Theater. But I remember growing up very young, he was very glued to the History Channel and very into, what was going on in the European front. And just to think, that World War II, all the suffering, all the dying, all the sacrifices that this country went through, to accomplish what was accomplished in World War II with the Allies, to think now that we have people that are, mad at something, just a little tweet by a little video game developer. It's just it's unfathomable. I just can't believe it. But I'm with you. I hate that it's news. But wow, people. Wow.
Yeah,
I'm speechless.
People fucking suck.
What's next? Hashtag zombies are people too?
Yeah. Zombie rights, man.
Let's end this news section on a very positive note, though. So, do you guys remember that game Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice?
Yep.
See.
Yeah. That one game about psychosis.
The one game I still need to play.
It's very great.
Yes.
The voices talk in your head. It's supposed to simulate the idea of having a mental illness. So the developers behind it, Ninja Theory, they put out an announcement where on World Mental Health Day, that was Tuesday, October 9th, all the proceeds made from sales of Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice on that day, on that 24-hour period, would be donated to this one charity in the UK that's all about supporting people who have mental illnesses or who need help with their mental health. And I think that's just really cool. That's just so nice.
Yeah. That game took a lot of effort and dedicated a lot of resources to try and really be true to that experience, and not make light of it, not treat it, and treat it with the level of respect that it deserves. And the documentary I heard, there's a really good making of documentary. I haven't watched it because they really recommend that you beat the game before you watch the documentary for spoiler reasons, of course. But what I've heard is that, it's very eye-opening, and it really kind of goes through the process that the developers went through with their advisors, etc. It's, again, just kind of ticks those boxes for me. Like, this is a different game. There's not much like this. There's not many developers willing to go here, and they're really putting their money, where their mouth is with this. Like, they're really backing it up and really putting effort to raise awareness for mental health, which is continuing to be, and has always been my entire life, an issue in this country that has never been fully addressed. I mean, every day driving to work, there are mentally handicapped people like begging on the side of the street. I pass them and I see them multiple times every day. It's like it's a real issue.
Yeah,
man. I think it's really cool that Ninja Theory, of course, does something like this, and a lot of respect to them. A lot of respect to them bringing in a psychologist, helping them, an actual researcher get their bearings straight on like what it actually is like to have psychosis, because I think there should be more research involved in video games in general and vice versa. And it was actually really cool with the way I actually first heard about this trailer actually before it was out. Actually saw on my Twitter feed some guy retweeted that Ninja Theory had actually replied to his email. He actually emailed them about the game. It was like, hey man, I really enjoyed your game. Like, I'm someone that struggles with mental health and blah blah blah. Like this really, I really appreciate what you guys are trying to do and stuff. And basically gave us like a really awesome personal story and stuff like that. And Ninja Theory is like, hey man, yeah, thanks for sending us an email. We're gonna would it be okay if we put this in our trailer? And I think he's one of the guys in the trailer. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. To kind of expand on that, so like while they announced that all the sales of that one day are going to go to a mental health organization or a charity, they released a trailer that is like, they called it an accolades trailer, but instead of like review quotes saying like 10 out of 10 best game, I've never had an experience like this before, all that classic quotes that you always see with a game like after it's been reviewed, instead on this trailer, which by the way is made up of like in-game photos taken with the photo mode that fans sent them.
Oh, cool.
Right? All the text on that trailer is like bits and pieces of stories like the one that Colin mentioned, of people who like took the time to send Ninja Theory a message like about how that game affected them or the people around them and helped their understanding of their mental illness or something like that. And it's like really touching. Like there was this one I saw that was like someone saying that they had a mental breakdown recently and then their brother like was ashamed to know them. Like he said that out loud. And then like after that person's brother played the game, they just turned to the person and said, "I'm so sorry."
Whoa. I need to play this game.
Yeah.
Whoa, dang.
It's heavy stuff, but it's really like heartwarming to kind of like see a video game, which we've established previously on this podcast as something that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, actually tackle such a like serious and important issue in such a cool way, I think.
Awesome, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that puts a pin in it, I think, for the new section of our cast. So let's jump over to the Would You Rather section.
All right, gentlemen.
Jack,
yes.
You want to hit us?
Yes, I'm going to hit you.
Oh, yes.
Thank you, sir. May I have another? Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yes.
Yeah, that was
yes, Jack.
Very strange reaction to that. Just leave the money on the counter and get out of here.
Hey man, don't even kiss him goodbye. Just leave it there.
Yeah. No eye contact.
Come on, hit me, Jack.
No,
hit me, Jack.
Eye contact. It's like we're at the urinal now or something. I don't know.
Jack's got his pants around his ankles.
No, I do not. I'm not wearing any pants.
But he's not, though. But he's not.
Can we get to this very serious Would You Rather, please?
Yes, hit us.
Okay, no, it's not serious at all. Okay, listen up. Would you rather have the last thing you ate be the only thing you could ever eat again, or have the last location you ever visited be where you have to live for the rest of your life? Discuss. Who wants to go first?
Oh boy.
Discuss.
Oh jeez.
So, man, okay. So let me give you guys a little background. So it's funny that you say this just so happened to be something to do with food, because the thing that I ate right before this podcast was the last thing I ate, obviously. And the thing that I ate was something that my roommate came home and he was like, "Hey, so I just went to the grocery store and I experimented. So I want to experiment with this concoction I'm about to make, and it's inspired by our trip to Piata last Thursday, which Robert was there."
Oh, I miss Piata. I forgot we don't have those down here. Damn it.
Yeah.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah, it's good. Pretty good stuff.
The Piata sticks with the ranch. Sorry. Good.
Oh yeah, I love that stuff. Anyway, so he makes like this concoction that's kind of like in the vein of Piata, but he takes it was man, I can't remember. He's like chicken, and he like put like what do you call that stuff? It's not like breadcrumbs, but it's kind of like
panko.
It's more flaky. Yes, that panko, and he mixed it with curry and orange chicken sauce. Like, yeah, okay. So he mixes all that together, puts it on this breaded chicken and stuff, and then like bakes it in the oven. And then on top of that, he's got like a tomato sauce, like a spaghetti sauce.
What? Dude.
Now
That's
listen.
not experimenting. That's not experimentation. That's an abomination, it sounds like, dude.
That's like awful.
Yeah, it sounds
Yeah.
like the thing that crawls out of you after
And
the
on top of
chest
that-
burster pops out.
And on top of that, this is like some epic mealtime type shit
I
almost.
thought I was going to like
I
what you
don't
were going to
think it
say.
is.
Yeah, I
No.
thought I was going to like this.
No, so and it sounds weird. And then on top of that, he made spaghetti noodles. All of this. And so he takes all of this stuff that I told you guys about. And then like he has like the breaded chicken, and then takes
gets
the
a blender.
sauce, takes the sauce, puts it over the chicken, and then takes the spaghetti and then puts it all that's on top of a tortilla.
Wait. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was kind of reeling in my head. Did you say the word blender at some point?
No.
I
Jack said
goof.
blender.
Okay.
Jack said blender. No.
I was goofing.
No, I'm not that old yet. Anyway, so
Pull out your teeth.
so the chicken, the sauce, spaghetti, and then cheese, garlic and herb cheese.
I'm lost. I don't know.
Inside-
Is this
inside this
Italian? Is
tortilla.
this a taco? Is this a...
Yeah, and the
Curry.
spaghetti. Yeah. Anyway, so he wraps this up and he's like, "Yeah, it's inspired by Piata." And I'm like, I don't know how I feel about this. And I'm
This is
so
inspired
anyone
by Willy
working-
Wonka on crack.
now listen.
If
he
anyone
maybe,
working at Piata is listening to this, we do not endorse you. This is not an endorsement because this is making you sound real gross.
Yeah, this is...
So no, it wasn't like an official Piata thing. I don't know, but anyway, like so I tried some of the chicken before he wrapped it up and all the rest of the stuff, and it wasn't bad. It actually was not bad.
Turns out chicken's good, yeah.
Yeah, well, the chicken with the breading and stuff, and the curry and the sauce. And then I had it all together in the wrap with everything, all the fixins and all that. And I was like, oh, God, I'm pretty hesitant about this, but I'm pretty sure I've had worse. So I said, fuck it, ate it, and I was like, this is not bad. It's not something I would eat all the time. This is not bad. Now,
Please don't tell me that you're gonna choose
Okay.
the last thing I ate as the thing I always
Just,
eat.
I need to hear where he was now. I was...
Yeah, okay.
Thank you, Colin. I was hungry. Somehow no more. Somehow that
guys,
desire
just
just
to
went
let you know,
away.
I feel fine. I'm not sick or anything. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't bad at all. I just wouldn't eat it a lot. But here's the thing.
Give it 24 hours, Colin.
Okay.
Talk to me then.
But I think, however, I will choose the last food I ate because here's why. There's enough variety in all those ingredients.
You're
Listen.
doing this wrong. Tell us where the last place you were was first before you tell us your decision.
Okay. The last place I visited, like, what do you mean? As in,
Yeah.
like, traveled to? I went completely out of my way
Just
and
visit
traveled
it. It
to.
could have been Walmart. I don't know.
Oh, man, there was the computer store. Like, if you were getting like literal within like the city.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Why
Wow.
would you not live there and instead eat that fucking abomination every day?
What computer store do you want to say, or is it just
Wait. So no, it's literally called the computer store.
Oh, funny.
Yeah. So And when you say go there, that's the only place you can go, as in you have to stay there and you can't go anywhere else. You have to live there. Just live there.
You have to live there.
Okay. So, yeah, okay. So living there wouldn't be so bad. So I was thinking like it had to be some more place, like geographic place in general. Like you had to stay around. Like if I moved to a new city, I can never leave that city. I thought that's what you meant. So
what did you think I meant, Robert? Did you think that too?
I assumed whatever establishment or whatever you were last physically at.
That's how I meant it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Man, I don't know. Well, the thing is, yeah, I wouldn't want to be stuck in one location though. That's the thing. So I think, what?
You just live there.
You live there. That's where you sleep.
Yeah, but what if I wanted to move?
You can't.
You buy another house.
Yeah, there you go.
So
you're picking that food though. Hold on. Say your reason now. I think I know what you're going to say. What's your reason for picking the food?
It's because I think there's so much going on in there. Like, okay, so would it be considered cheating if I mean, and I didn't use any additional ingredients, but if I made different things out of the same stuff that was in it, would that be considered cheating?
Yes, you have to eat it as it was. It's not the ingredients or, no, that's what you have to eat, that curry crap. No offense. I'm sorry. If your roommate listens to this show, like, it sounds like what you said it sounds like. It sounds like someone was experimenting. It was like, I'm going to throw all this stuff together. I'm not a huge curry guy either, but it sounded like, was there tomato sauce in there too?
Yeah.
See,
tomato
that sounds
sauce,
real
orange
weird.
Chicken sauce.
That sounds super. Like, I'm not even a guy that likes to.
It wasn't overkill with the orange chicken sauce. It was used very, very sparingly.
I don't like to mix even 2 sodas in my cup. I'm not a big fan of like that kind of flavor intermingling. So to me, I'm not a big kind of throw this in there. Give me the recipe that the chef intended. For me. So so you would have to eat that the way it was meant to be eaten. You can't separate them.
Man. Okay, so if I can but I have to live in the one place like for the rest of my life, and I can never move somewhere else.
I mean, you're in pretty good shape because you're at a place with electricity. You're at a place with the internet and computers. Like, could be a lot worse.
That's true. It's not a bad place. It's kind of a crappy location because of the street it's on. But
you'll never leave anyways. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know, man.
Okay, you don't have to decide right now. You don't have to decide right now.
Go to Robert.
Let's go to Robert. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Tell us, Robert.
Okay.
What was last thing you ate? Where's the last place you went?
Last thing I ate was a nice, sweet, beautiful beef roast, like a slice of beef roast.
Not bad.
Sweet, beautiful, like a sweet dash beautiful. Sweet, beautiful.
It was so good. It was so delicious.
Homemade.
Oh yeah, like
Nice.
I just made it right before the podcast.
That sounds
last
good.
place I've been to, since I work at home, was actually at the bars over the weekend. Specifically, Bodega, a nice little place in the short north here in Columbus.
See,
It's
Colin, when I said it could
John
be
Boyega?
Colin, when I said this could be worse, this is the kind of thing I mean. Like, you're not too bad.
Yeah, so I could live in a bar, and I would choose to live in a bar because honestly, the idea of eating the same meal every day is like just kill me now. Like, this is my last meal. This is my death row meal. I'm done.
Yeah, that's true.
You would live at Bodega?
I would live at Bodega. Yeah,
Dude. Ugh. Okay.
I'd make it nice. I'd cozy up a little bit in there.
When
I'd find my own little corner in the kitchen or the pantry or something.
I promise
In the
you,
pantry.
you're in your early 20s, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I promise you, in like 8 to 9 years, you would get sick of Bodega. Probably sooner because you're there every day.
I'm pretty sure I'd get sick of it within the first week because I'd be living there.
Yeah, it would suck.
But you know what? I could still eat literally anything I wanted whenever I want.
Is the food good at Bodega?
I have never had their food, so I have no clue.
Okay.
But I could try it instead of having to eat the same sweet, delicious beef roast every day.
I managed to go to Ohio State for a number of years, and I've never been to that place. I've heard plenty about it, but I never had a desire to partake.
I mean, it's pretty.
Wait, have we been to
far
Bodegas?
south.
I don't know if I've went. Did we
I
go?
don't know if I've ever been there with you. No, I don't think I have.
Whoa.
Okay.
The
I
way
don't
you said
remember.
it. With you.
Yeah. with
With
you.
you.
The likes
Why would
of
I go
you,
with
Colin.
you?
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
I didn't know I was so gross.
Collins, no,
Yeah,
he just
you
wants all the
definitely-
girls for himself. You're gonna mac on him. That's the
Right.
problem.
Yeah.
With your
Yeah.
6'2", handsome, long locks,
Are you talking about me?
Deftone shirt. No, whatever.
Hey! This is a Depeche Mode shirt, okay? This is not. Hey, I actually am wearing Deftones socks. Thank you very much.
Well, there you go.
You're the only person I know that owns Deftone socks.
Probably.
Jack, I'm curious.
Yeah.
What would you pick?
Wow. Well, the last place I visited was work, and the last thing I ate was a double fillet of fish from McDonald's, just because I was crushed for time and had to be quick.
How the tables have turned.
I cannot fathom living where I work. I mean, 8 hours a day is I'm good. I'm good on that, you know.
Hey, man, you already practically live there already. So
I mean, it's 40 hours a week, you know. It's a full-time job, for real. It's a career. And you know, the last thing I ate, it's not so terrible.
give me that fillet of fish.
Is
give
it-
me that fish.
Yeah. McDonald's, not so terrible.
It's not. I mean, what did I have to drink? I think I had like a Diet Dr. Pepper or something like that. Oh, no. I had an unsweetened iced tea. And I had really good French fries, which nothing's sadder than sad, crappy, crusty, you know, cold French fries. I had really good French fries this time. So
I,
I can think of
I
worse
don't care for McDonald's fries, man. I really don't.
I care. I care for them.
I'm lukewarm.
I don't care for them. Like they're not bad, but they're not anything good. Like I don't go
French good hot salty French fries from McDonald's, fresh out the grease, are very solid.
and
And
they just taste like oil to me, bruh.
what are good French fries to you then?
Oh, I mean, I'm a big fan of like seasoned fries, so I tend to lean more towards like Arby's curly
Rally's?
fries, Rally's fries. Yeah.
Okay.
Even well, of course, Five Guys. I love their fries.
The Cajun style.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. I agree. Yay. Seasoning is, you know, I don't know if it's preferential, but I don't think there's anything wrong with McDonald's fries. I don't see how you can knock them. Now, this will be controversial, but if you guys ever do go to In-N-Out Burger, it's kind of a definite inflection point in the experience with the fries there. They're definitely up for debate how good they are. The burgers speak for themselves, but the fries at In-N-Out definitely have room for improvement. So
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard that.
So I just, there's just no way. I don't care what I ate last. I don't care if it was that curry tomato paste anchovy wrap that you made.
Yikes.
Anchovy wrap.
But I could never pick work, right? It would have to be, I'd have to be able to live somewhere else other than that. And I'll go ahead and eat the double fillet of fish. Like I said, it could be worse.
Yeah.
It could be a lot worse than that. So, you know, regretfully, that's my decision. Now, I guess Colin would just throw the ball back to you. Like, you know, you've had some time to think about it. What do you think your move's going to be in this scenario?
After giving quite a bit more thought, I mean, though it is like a pretty controversial thing to like keep eating every day, the general idea of eating something, you know, eating anything, period. It wouldn't matter really to me what it was. It could be like my favorite food in the world. The idea of eating something all the time, every day, just really bothers me. I couldn't do it. It just makes me just thinking about like cereal. Like I used to eat a lot of cereal, like a lot more cereal than I do now.
We're back on cereal now.
I know, because I have like a love-hate relationship with cereal. But I've had
straight love on this side. I don't know what there's
I've
to
had
hate.
like the same kind. Like I've had every kind of cereal several times over, to the point where I've just been done with cold cereal in general for extended periods of time.
You're a whole milk man, if I remember correctly. As well.
Yes, I am.
Savage.
Yeah. Yeah, because every other milk is not real milk.
Whoa. Wow.
Yeah, we can get into that one later.
Forget skim milk. I could never get
No,
behind
skim milk's
milk.
garbage. I can tolerate 2%, but skim milk is garbage.
I've done skim milk for an extended period of time when I'm trying to cut weight. Man, it is not
It's water.
a good time.
Disguised as
You're-
milk. Anyway,
you're in a bad mood. Yeah.
Anyway, so I think with that, I'd rather live at the computer store. And I will say the computer store, dude keeps that place pretty damn clean.
Are there good seats? Is there good lounging there?
Now, listen, this is a very small, locally owned business. It is tiny. It's small. Like,
sure.
It looks like it could have been someone's house at some point, and they converted it into a business. You walk in.
I've never been.
Yeah, it's over on North High, but it's you walk in there and there's just like the front reception desk, and then to the left is literally like his work desk. And it's like you just see like a bunch of open towers and stuff, and the dude's working on it. And he's really nice guy anyway. But yeah, I'd much rather just like live there, and and have whatever I choose for restaurants. Because here's the thing: even if I could live wherever I wanted, still, it wouldn't matter because I can only eat the same food every day. And half the fun of traveling is eating a bunch of different food.
Yeah.
So.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Or going different places. Yeah. So
no, I hear you.
I think I'm gonna
I have to just like if I chose the food, would I just have to find a McDonald's everywhere I go? That would suck.
God, dude, it wouldn't be hard though, is the thing.
No, it wouldn't. No.
It wouldn't. No, it's like, all right, I'm in Shanghai. Where's the nearest McDonald's? It's like a nightmare. And then they're gonna have the exotic Shanghai exclusive items, and I can only get the double filet fish.
Yeah, and that's the problem. If I stuck with my thing, I would have to go completely out of my fucking way every time I wanted to eat to go buy those items and then cook them.
I need panko right now. I'm gonna die.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, not to mention, like, it probably just wouldn't be healthy either. I don't know, to eat all that.
Give me panko or give me death.
See, what I find like hilarious.
Give me something real like puffins or something. Anyway,
what I find hilarious about all this is that this would you rather is hinged on the fact that like you just walk into the computer store. It's like, hey, I answered a would you rather question, and I gotta live.
I have to live here now.
Do you have a corner for me to like set my stuff up?
So you didn't answer my question though, Colin. Like, is there some lounge seating there? Is there some?
No, there's not really like much seating there other than like the dude's desk chair and maybe like one other chair or the chair that's at the reception. So there's not really like guest seating or anything like that.
Well, you'd have to do some some quick work there to get him have him let you bring a chair in there or something to at least sit on. Be like, bro, I just live here now. So.
Granted, I have not been in the back of the place because it's like that's just like the front of the store. There's like there's more in the back, so I'm sure there's like I don't know if the dude lives there or not because it could easily like have a bedroom.
What if like years ago he had the same discussion with his friends at the bar? And like that place was the last place he went to. Now he has to live there.
It's cursed.
You just tell him about your predicament, and he's like, "The cycle continues."
I've been there, my friends.
No, that's the thing. Like someone new comes in, and he's like, "I'm free," and then
the curse
he just runs out into the street, kicking his heels like yes,
with his Bluetooth earpiece in.
All right. Well, like I said, you could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like I said,
it's
you
true. I got lucky.
You got
I got
roof
lucky
over your head. Yeah. It is like a business, a place business, but it's smaller, so you're not going to have to deal with like Walmartians or something.
Oh
like
no,
that,
yeah.
right?
Like it was like I'm the only one there when I was there and stuff like that. So
cool.
Yeah. See, I mean, it could be worse. Like Jack said, you could be a piece of trash like me and decide to live at a bar.
That's pretty terrible. That's a commitment to food.
I would
there.
suffer
That's
through
a commitment
that.
to food.
Because you guys know I cook. I'm passionate about the food I can put in my mouth hole. And if I have to put that same delicious sweet beef roast in my mouth over and over, I will kill myself.
It's sweet, delicious beef roast.
Dude, at least it was home cooking. Mine was fast food.
Yeah, that's true. But that's how committed I am. Something that I made tonight that I thought was delicious and exquisite is still not enough to sway me to eat that same thing every day.
Let me ask you, just throw this back on you guys. Would you pick where you work to live there? Would you guys do that? Because here's the thing. I've got like infinite free drinks, some snackage going on. There's a pretty decent cafeteria. Okay. I've got great Wi-Fi. I've got the internet. I've got a comfortable, chair. I've got a gym there.
See,
there's some good amenities.
As someone, let me. Oh, go ahead, Colin.
Let me ask you guys something.
Oh, okay.
I work at a Dave & Buster's. Would you guys want to live at a Dave & Buster's?
Hell no.
Yeah, I'd consider it.
Just because the crowd, the public is the part.
That's what I'm saying. Well, and that's the thing. There's not like, I don't know if there's any like cuddly places in the back for me to like set up shop. You know what I mean?
It's just the cacophony of the whole, thing. It's made to be loud and buzzy, and you hear these bells and lights.
Yeah. My favorite part of the day is when I get to flip the games off. So,
it's so peaceful.
Oh, dude, it's weird, but it's because it's
kind of like when
it's not.
It's kind of like when the power goes out in your home, right? It's just like, whoa, it's never been this quiet before with the fridge off. You know?
Right, yeah, and it's like not that, and I like being there, but it's being there all the time. No way.
Yeah, as someone who works from home, I can say it's really hard when you live where you work, because then you kind of just lose the motivation to work. It gets pretty tough,
dude. It is weird. As someone, I've worked from home as well, and it's a strange thing because even when you're on break or on lunch, you're just like, you never really, you still feel you're at work even though you're at home.
Right.
It's you think it's great, and then you do it, and you realize like, man, I actually would like to go to an office sometime, or like to just get out of the home office.
Yes. Right. And I mean, as someone who's literally worked where they lived, like I did maintenance here at this apartment complex.
Right.
Yeah. Like, I will say it's after working there for a year and a half, or here for a year and a half, I've just gotten tired of looking at the place, really. So I can attest to that for sure.
Right. I think that should wrap us up, though, for this episode of the Tiny Disc Podcast. So, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you have answers to that would you rather that you'd like to share with us, or if you have a would you rather question you want us to ask on the cast, email it to us at tinydiscpodcast@gmail.com. You can also go to tinydisc.com to check out all of our podcasts there. It has all of our social media buttons on there, so if you want to go there to follow us on Twitter and Facebook and so on, feel free to. It'd be really cool. If you enjoyed what we have done for you, feel free to leave us an iTunes review. It'd really help us out. We'd really appreciate it. It only takes like a couple minutes of your time. And tell a friend if you think they'd be interested in this podcast. We like to try to have a grassroots kind of movement thing going on here. Where can we find you two online on the social medias?
On Twitter at booboo__55, aka Colin in Mono.
I just now figured out that you're saying Colin in mono.
Yeah.
Like not stereo, but mono. I thought you were like half Italian or some shit, like Colin Amano.
No.
Like Alyssa Milano or some shit like that.
Mono,
yeah. Yeah, Mono.
No, I go to your Twitter and I'm like, oh, Colin in mono. Okay.
Get it? Because it's one channel for me.
Get it. No, that's cool. At JACCEPEDA, Mr. Cepeda, if you're nasty.
If you're nasty.
What? Excuse me? What did I just walk into?
Dropping the mic. Mic's dropped.
Oh, please don't.
Deal with it.
And you can find me on Twitter at Pinoptimist, PINOPTIMIST. That should do it for us for this episode. If you are still interested in our Blade Runner 2049 post-mortem, check it out. It'll be after the music here. If you haven't seen the movie and or just don't want to be spoiled on it just yet, probably cut it off here.
But go see it.
Yeah.
Go see it.
Hold on.
Can I sell this next segment real quick? If you have no plans of watching Blade Runner, I think you're gonna still enjoy listening to this podcast.
Yes.
If you have zero plans, just keep listening. We'll make it good.
Yeah, actually, I can agree with that. Yeah. So if you aren't interested in seeing Blade Runner, stick around. We can tell you why you should and or should not watch the film.
Thanks for listening to the Tiny Disc Podcast. We'll see you next Thursday.